My mother-in-law snatched the gift box from my hands and smiled at me. 75 people were watching. It was supposed to be my baby shower. I should have seen it coming. I really should have. But when you're 7 months pregnant and your husband assures you that his mother just wants to celebrate the new baby, you want to believe him. You want to believe that maybe, just this once, Linda Chen will act like a normal human being instead of the manipulative nightmare she's been since the day I met her. I was wrong. Let me back up. My name is Rachel, and I've been married to Tom Chen for 4 years. When we got engaged, I thought I was the luckiest woman alive. Tom was kind, successful, and came from what I thought was a close, loving family. His mother Linda seemed welcoming at first. She hugged me at our engagement party and told me she always wanted a daughter. That should have been my first red flag. What she really meant was she wanted someone she could control. The trouble started with our wedding. Tom and I wanted something small, maybe 50 people, at a local restaurant. We'd been saving up and had about $15,000 set aside. It wasn't much, but it was ours. Linda had other ideas. She came over to our apartment one evening, 3 months before the wedding. I remember because I'd just finished painting the nursery. Wait, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. That was this year, 4 years ago. I was 27 and so naive it hurts to think about it. Linda sat down at our kitchen table and pulled out a binder. An actual 3-ring binder with plastic sleeves and color-coded tabs. Tom and I exchanged glances. His mother was a retired accountant, and she approached everything like it was a tax audit. "I've been thinking about your wedding," she said, flipping through pages of venue photos and catering menus. "The Chen family has a reputation to uphold. 50 people at Antonio's restaurant simply won't do." I tried to smile. "Mrs. Chen, we really appreciate your input, but Tom and I want something intimate, something that feels like us." She looked at me the way you'd look at a child who just said they wanted to be a dinosaur when they grew up. Amused, condescending, disappointed. "Rachel, sweetie, you don't understand. The Chens have been in Portland for 3 generations. We have business connections, family, friends. Tom's father's law firm alone employs 60 people. We can't just invite a handful and exclude everyone else." Tom shifted in his chair. I could feel him tensing up. He always got like that around his mother, like a little boy afraid of getting in trouble. "Mom, Rachel and I have already put down a deposit at Antonio's." Linda waved her hand dismissively. "I'll take care of that. In fact, I'll take care of everything. I know you two are on a budget with the new apartment and Rachel's student loans from nursing school." She said nursing school, the way other people say, tax fraud. "That's incredibly generous," I said carefully. "But we can't accept that. It's too much." Linda's smile didn't waver. "Nonsense. You're family now. Besides, I insist. I've already put a hold on the Riverwood estate. It's beautiful. 250-person capacity." My stomach dropped. 250 people? "Mrs. Chen, we don't even know that many people." "You will by the wedding day." She stood up and gathered her binder. "I'll handle everything. You two just focus on being happy. Tom, honey, walk me to my car." After they left, I sat at that kitchen table for 20 minutes, staring at the cracked tile floor of our cheap apartment. Something felt wrong, really wrong. But Tom came back smiling, saying his mother just wanted to do something nice for us, and I let myself believe it. The wedding cost $53,000. I know because Linda kept every receipt. She planned everything down to the napkin rings. I wanted wildflowers. She ordered white roses. I wanted a simple cake. She hired a 5-tier monstrosity with sugar flowers that matched the ones she'd picked out. I wanted my college roommate to do a reading. She hired a string quartet and a professional MC. I felt like a guest at my own wedding. But it was beautiful. I can't deny that. And Linda seemed so happy, so proud. When she hugged me after the ceremony and whispered, "Welcome to the family, daughter," I thought maybe I'd been too hard on her. Maybe she was just a mother who wanted the best for her son. I was so stupid. Tom's younger sister Jessica was the maid of honor. That was another thing Linda insisted on, even though Jessica and I barely knew each other. Jessica was 24, worked part-time at a boutique, and still lived at home with Linda. She'd had the same boyfriend, Marcus, for 6 years. They'd been engaged for 3 of those years, but there was never any wedding planning happening. During the reception, Jessica got drunk on champagne and cornered me in the bathroom. "You're so lucky," she slurred, reapplying her lipstick in the mirror. "Mom spent so much money on this. She never does anything like this for me." I wanted to say that I didn't ask for any of it, but Jessica stumbled out before I could respond. The next 4 years were relatively peaceful. Tom and I bought a house, a small 3-bedroom in the suburbs. I worked as a nurse at Providence Hospital. Tom worked 60-hour weeks at his father's law firm. We had dinner at Linda's house every Sunday. It was tedious but manageable. Jessica and Marcus broke up, then got back together, then broke up again. Each time, Linda would sigh and say something like, "At least I have one son who knows how to maintain a relationship," as if Tom's success was somehow proof of her superior parenting instead of his own hard work. Last year, Tom and I started trying for a baby. It took 11 months and 3 rounds of fertility treatments. When I finally saw those 2 pink lines on the pregnancy test, I cried so hard I gave myself a nosebleed. That's when things started to change. Linda became obsessive. She called me every single day, sometimes twice a day. She wanted to know about every doctor's appointment, every symptom, every craving. She bought baby clothes without asking what I wanted. She started referring to my baby as my grandchild and my baby in conversations, like I was just an incubator doing her a favor. When I was 5 months along, Linda suggested throwing me a baby shower. I hesitated. I'd been to showers before where the mother-in-law took over, and the pregnant woman just sat there like a prop. But Tom thought it would be nice. He said his mother was just excited to be a grandmother. "She's offering to do all the planning," Tom said one night as we lay in bed. "We don't have to do anything except show up." "That's what I'm afraid of," I muttered. But I agreed. Because I was tired, and my ankles were swollen, and planning a party sounded exhausting. Linda promised it would be small, just close family and my closest friends, maybe 40 people. She sent the invitations without showing them to me first. I found out when my coworker Sarah asked if I knew 75 people had been invited. 75? I called Linda immediately. "You said 40. "Oh, well, you know how it is. Once you start making the list, you realize you can't leave anyone out. It would be rude." I should have canceled it right then, but I didn't. Because I'm a coward, and because Tom kept saying mom means well, and because I was 7 months pregnant and too exhausted to fight. The baby shower was at Linda's house. She has one of those massive Portland craftsman homes with the wraparound porch and professionally landscaped yard. The kind of house that says old money, even though the Chens are only 2 generations from immigrant parents who ran a laundromat. I arrived at 1 in the afternoon. Cars lined both sides of the street. My heart sank. This wasn't a baby shower. This was a production. Linda had decorated the entire first floor in cream and gold. Balloons everywhere, a dessert table that could feed 200 people, a gift table already overflowing with perfectly wrapped presents. In the corner, a professional photographer was setting up lights and a backdrop. Surprise! Linda grabbed me as soon as I walked in. She was wearing a cream-colored dress that matched the decorations. She'd clearly planned her outfit to coordinate with her own party. "Don't you just love it?" I felt Tom's hand on my back. "It's beautiful, Mom." I wanted to scream. Instead, I smiled and let Linda parade me around to greet guests. Most of them were her friends from the country club or church. Women in their 60s wearing expensive jewelry and looking at my maternity dress like it was a Target clearance rack special, which it was. My mother was there, looking uncomfortable in the corner with my 2 friends from work. They'd clearly been seated at a table far from the main action. Meanwhile, Linda had positioned herself at a table in the center of the room, holding court like a queen. Jessica was there too, wearing a tight gold dress that was completely inappropriate for a daytime baby shower. She kept checking her phone and rolling her eyes every time someone cooed over a baby gift I opened. The first hour was okay. Standard baby shower stuff. I opened presents and tried to look grateful for the 14th set of baby washcloths. Linda kept making comments about how we were so excited for our baby and how we couldn't wait to decorate the nursery. Every time she said we, I died a little inside. Then came the cake cutting. Linda had ordered a massive 3-tier cake with baby Chen written in gold frosting. The photographer positioned us for photos. Me and Tom, me and Linda, me, Tom, and Linda. Me, Tom, Linda, and Jessica. It was like Jessica was the other parent instead of just the aunt. After cake, Linda clinked her champagne glass. The room went silent. She stood up, smoothing her dress, smiling at everyone. "I want to thank you all for coming to celebrate this special day," she began. "Tom and Rachel are about to embark on the most important journey of their lives, parenthood. It's expensive. It's exhausting. It requires sacrifice." People nodded. Standard baby shower speech stuff. I relaxed slightly. "Tom's father and I know all about sacrifice," Linda continued. "We sacrificed so much to give Tom and Jessica the best possible lives, the best schools, the best opportunities, and we were happy to do it. That's what parents do." She paused. The room was still silent. Something in her tone had shifted. "And of course, we've continued that tradition of generosity with Tom and Rachel. 4 years ago, we gave them the wedding of their dreams. We spared no expense. We wanted to give them the perfect start to their marriage." My mouth went dry. Where was she going with this? "The wedding cost $53,000, Linda said. Her voice was still cheerful, but there was an edge to it now. "We paid for everything. The venue, the catering, the flowers, the photographer, the band. Everything." Tom's hand found mine under the table. He squeezed. I squeezed back. "And we've helped in other ways too," Linda continued. "The down payment help for the house, the furniture, Christmas gifts, birthday gifts, the fertility treatments." She said that last part slowly, making sure everyone heard it. My face burned. She'd just told 75 people about our private medical information. "We estimate we've spent around $80,000 on Tom and Rachel over the past 4 years. The room was so quiet I could hear the photographer's camera whir as he captured my humiliation. "Now, we didn't give that money expecting anything in return," Linda said, her smile never wavering. "But we do think it's time for Tom and Rachel to start taking responsibility for their own finances. They're about to have a baby. They need to be independent." She reached into a decorative basket next to her chair and pulled out a manila folder. My heart stopped. "So, we've put together a simple repayment plan." Linda walked over to me and set the folder in front of me on the table. "Very reasonable terms. The total is $80,000. We're not even charging interest. All we ask is that Tom and Rachel pay us back over the next 10 years. That's just $8,000 a year, $667 a month." I stared at the folder. I couldn't breathe. Couldn't move. Couldn't think. "We've already consulted with an attorney," Linda continued. "This is all perfectly legal. Tom's father drew up the paperwork himself. All we need is for Rachel to sign acknowledging the debt." 75 pairs of eyes were on me. Some looked shocked. Some looked uncomfortable. Some, particularly Linda's friends, looked pleased, like this was exactly the kind of drama they'd hoped for when they drove across town on a Saturday afternoon. Jessica was smiling. Actually smiling. She leaned over and whispered something to the woman next to her. They both looked at me and laughed. I opened the folder with shaking hands. Inside was a printed document, several pages long, listing every expense Linda claimed they'd paid. Wedding venue, $18,000, catering, $12,000, photography, $4,000. It went on and on. At the bottom was a signature line with my name typed above it. "This is insane," I whispered. "I'm sorry?" Linda leaned in, her hand cupped around her ear like she couldn't hear me. "Speak up, dear." I looked at Tom. His face was pale. He looked like he might throw up. He opened his mouth, then closed it. He wasn't going to help me. He was going to let his mother do this. I stood up. My hands were shaking so badly, I knocked over my glass of water. It spilled across the tablecloth, soaking the folder. "I'm not signing this," I said. My voice sounded strange. Too loud. Too high. Linda's smile faded. "Rachel, don't be childish. We're just asking you to take responsibility for—" "You never said this was a loan." My voice cracked. "You said it was a gift. You insisted on paying for the wedding even though we said no. We didn't ask for any of this." "That's not how I remember it," Linda said coolly. Tom, honey, help me out here. Didn't Rachel specifically ask for a big wedding? Tom was still sitting down, still frozen. He looked at me, then at his mother, then at the floor. Tom, I said, tell her we wanted a small wedding. Mom really wanted to help us, Tom said quietly. That's when I knew. He was going to side with her. After 4 years of marriage, after everything we'd been through together, he was going to let his mother do this to me at my own baby shower. Jessica, show her the receipt for the fertility treatments, Linda said. Jessica pulled out her phone, smiling. Mom kept all of them. See? $2,800.